Okay, there we go. I was totally talking and I thought I was live already. This is my first time using StreamYard, so I'm not totally sure what I'm doing. Hey, words of the web, thank you for joining me today. I am so all over the place right now. Like, you see, I got a little food in the background. Like, I realized at 6:50, oh snap, I'm about to go live and I have not eaten. And now I'm trying to pull up my story and I cannot find it. So I don't even know where I saved it. And it's not plotted. So this is gonna be a wild ride tonight. But I decided to stream because I found it, yeah. I have a short story romance that I need to get published ASAP so my income doesn't go down. But I have been too busy to do it. So now I need to hurry up and write fast. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, Words, for telling me. Words is telling me that Emily Bourne's live stream was saying that I'm about to go live, and that's really nice of Emily. And actually, I forgot to even post it in the AuthorTube Facebook channel, so I should probably try and do that now. Give me a second. I'm like doubling up on computers today so I can stream in one and write on the other. Because this laptop right here is actually dedicated to my dictation. Because I don't know if you've ever used Dragon Naturally Speaking, it takes up a lot of space and does not work well on Mac. And my usual computer is a MacBook, and it does not play well with it. So I got a cheap little laptop to dictate on. Hey guys. Announce that I am running. Let's to lunch. Have the link. Post. All right. There we go. Yeah, when I did dictate on my Mac, I would either dictate into Google Docs that has a what's the word I'm looking for? A built-in dictation system, but it doesn't learn as you talk, as you write, but Dragon does. So as you go on, Dragon gets smarter and knows what you're trying to say and learns your voice, which is a lot more powerful than what Google Docs is using. So I felt it was a good investment. I actually bought it years ago and was trying to run it on Parallels on my desktop, and that was not working too well for me. It took up so much space between running Windows and my iOS and Dragon on my desktop. It was just too much for it. So I just decided to get a PC just for dictation. I tried to keep non-essentials off of this computer. It is basically only Word, Notepad, Google Chrome and Dragon. Oh my goodness. I do not want to restart it. No, leave me alone. Like, my computer wants to restart now, and I do not want it to. Oh, I've never tried dictating into Scrivener. When I'm not dictating, I usually write in Scrivener, which is what I do like my novels and everything in. Short stories I'll do in Google Docs. But I never thought to try to dictate into Scrivener. Uh, but you said it has trouble understanding you and trouble with the Japanese names. So, like, my novels tend to be more fantasy. So it may probably have trouble if I try to dictate into it. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so hungry. And I have really floofy hair today. I think it has given up on trying to restart. So we can probably start our first sprint. There we go, my timer. So do you have a preferred time on how long you want to sprint? I figured for a warm-up, we could just do a quick 15 minutes or so. I'm probably actually going to use the warm-up to finish plotting. Oh, thank you. And my hair is just not laying as flat as it usually would. All right. Let's see. Oh. Yeah. I'm trying to get StreamYard to show the, there we go. Share that. Why must you fight with me now, computer? Oh, goodness. So you may lose me for 1 second. I'm trying to allow Google to share my screen, and it's saying that it has to restart in order to do that. So I'm going to start the timer, and by time we, like way before the timer is done, we should be going. All right? Ready, set, go. Mm, I guess I should have warned you that it was gonna howl. The timer is called Howler's Timer. I actually originally got it when I was writing a lot of Teen Wolf fan fiction, and it was howling, so that seemed perfect. So, how did you do? I ended up plotting up to chapter 4 out of like I think I'm aiming for 7. Yeah, 7. Because I'm looking at this new outline system my friend uses. So I was I'm looking at her chapter 4 on what should happen in chapter 4, but I'm trying to figure out like how to actually plot based off of what she has. Hi Meadow, I'm glad you are here to get your college on. What are you studying? Oh geez, 400 words in 15 minutes words. Like that's why your name is Words, because that is amazing. I could write that much that fast. I'm gonna message my friend, tell her like your chapter 4 confuses me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing for this. Oh, US history. I like history, but I was bad at it in school because I was more interested in what was happening, I guess the story of everything, and not so good with the dates and trying to remember when things happened. So I would always like get only partial credit because I never knew when things happened. But like US history I was never that interested in until Hamilton. Because I am a music theater nerd. So Hamilton got me interested in US history. But beyond that, much more of a fan of like Russian history and French history and some English history, because like those monarchies are crazy. Like they always had so much drama going on, and I loved that. Okay, the women's suffrage movement in World War One. Yeah, I don't know too much about World War One, except Archduke Ferdinand, something like that, getting shot. I think I drew a compare. I don't know who I was talking to the other day, but I was like, it reminds me of JFK. Like you're just chilling in your ride, riding down the street in a parade, minding your own business, and get shot. Archduke and JFK. Armenian history. I admit I do not know anything about Armenian history. I what's like one crazy fact that you know about Armenian history? I love like learning new things. Hey Jasmine. Oh, you like ancient history? Girl, me and you are gonna have to chat in like the group chat one day and talk about ancient history. I'm actually not the story I'm working on today, but I'm working on a romance novel that's a lot with Greek gods, and I've been doing a lot of research on it. I know mythology and history aren't the same thing, but a lot of mythology, a lot of history is tied into the belief systems of people. So ancient Greece would look a lot into the Greek mythology. That's my loose tie-in. One thing I really loved about, oh wait, hold on, there's a thing I can do. Boom. Oh, that's so cool. One thing I really loved about this US history course is that it started with Native American history well before Columbus discovered America. All right. So some people, I don't know if everyone who's in here knows this. I'm a high school literature teacher. And when I taught 11th grade literature, that's American literature in Georgia. So the beginning of the US literature track is Native American creation myths. And I used to love teaching that so much. It was so cool. All right, they had a super awesome queen, Queen Zabel. I hope I said that right. Who assassinated everyone else competing for the throne after her father. Oh, hell yes. That's queens I like in my history. Like there's an author that I like, Michelle Moran, and she has a book. I've read most of her books, but there's one that I missed and I need to read it. And I'm blanking on what queen it was about, but they basically called her the Indian Joan of Arc. And that just was so interesting to me. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, so as a young Black woman, I push so much Black in, well, not even just Black, a lot of people of color literature in my class. And it gets so fun, especially since most of my students are either Black or Latinx, and they don't get to see a lot of literature with themselves in it. So I take it upon myself to really push that. So like, but it helps that right now I teach world literature. So our curriculum is designed about the different cultures, even though like, even in the book, it's like, oh, this white person went to India and here's what they wrote about it. No, let's look at what the Indians had to say. So our unit, that class is Africa, Asia, Middle East, and Latin America. And I really love teaching that. Okay, Meadow, I'm super jealous that you had a ton of Native American lit in your high school English class. When I was in high school, we didn't. And I didn't really read Native American literature until I was in grad school. So when I was in my master's degree for literature, I had a whole class on Native American literature. And that was the first time that I really read stuff from their culture. And it was so cool. Oh, so okay, yeah, so that makes sense. You're lucky that you had that easy access to stuff. I'm still trying to better educate myself and read more widely, because even I feel like it's a product of what we learned in school kind of dictates what we enjoy later in life. So my master's in literature was a focus on Jane Austen as a proto-feminist. Now I will always love Jane Austen. I adore her. But like there are so many other like African American authors I could have done, Black British authors. And it was interesting because I went to an HBCU, which is a historically Black college or university for grad school. And so like a lot of my classes were on Black literature, but here I was writing about Jane Austen. But they were supportive of whatever I wanted to do. Yeah, Jasmine, I read the I read the Nefertiti. I read the whole Egypt series she did. the Heretic Queen, Cleopatra's Daughter, and Nefertiti. Yeah, I read that entire trilogy. That was one of my favorites. Wait, I know Julie. I can't say her last name. Y'all. I'm terrible with pronouncing things. She was that one that would like. She snuck into a nunnery to like hook up with girls and stuff, and she was like badass at fencing and everything. That's her, right? Because I'm pretty sure over the years I've seen things about her, and I was like, oh my goodness, she is so cool. Oh, thank you. I really enjoy being a. I've been teaching for 3 years now. I did not want to be a teacher actually, but like, what can you really do with a BA and MA in literature but be a teacher? So I ended up being a teacher and loving it. I honestly kind of really miss my kids right now because we're teaching virtually right now because of Corona. If anyone ever watches the stream in the future, we're in the whole pandemic right now. But I really miss my kids, and I'm really sad that my seniors are gonna be missing all of their senior events like prom and everything. They just announced this morning who valedictorian and salutatorian were. And there were two of my babies, and I was like, yay, just by myself celebrating them. So I miss teaching right now. So I guess that we should probably like get back to writing a little, even though this conversation is so fun. I could talk about books and education like all day. Oh, you're a high school senior? I am like, I'm serious. I'm so sorry. Like, this has got to be a terrible time for you. Because, like, I know my students would be doing like their senior picnic right now, or their prom would have been like last week, I think. And our prom was going to be so cool this year. Like, I knew where the prom was going to be. So I was really hype about that. Uh, like, they have like senior skate nights and oh, like this, it just makes me really sad. I can't imagine what you are going through right now because I had so much fun with my my senior stuff. Oh, I feel like I should know her. Like, okay, my mother is Jamaican, like an immigrant and everything. And I am not that I know some folklore, but I don't really know history. So I'm gonna have to I'm writing her name down because I'm going to have to look her up and learn about her. Because me and my friend who's also Jamaican, like, are always talking about the things we are trying to teach ourselves as like the children of immigrants and the diaspora and everything. So I am writing her name down. Like, I'm kind of glad y'all can't see my desk because it is a crazy mess. Mary C. Cole. All right, I'm going to look her up. Hopefully I can find some like good books about her. All right, so how long do you guys want to sprint for? I'm probably going to try to finish up. Oh, I promise I wasn't just texting the whole sprint. I do my outlining on my phone in Google Keep so that wherever I am, I have the outline and I can pull up Google Docs and everything on. So I promise I'm not just texting. So I'm going to try and finish up my plotting in the next sprint, and hopefully before the sprint ends, I can start writing. So anyone have a time preference, or I can just, I don't like super short or super long sprints. I usually go like between 15 and 25 minutes. I have a very bad attention span. I just started on ADHD medication, and it hasn't fully like grasped me yet. So shorter times tend to be a little better for me. – 1984. We can do that. That's what, like 21 minutes and something seconds. I don't know. I'm a literature teacher, not a math teacher. I think 1984 sounds fun, so let's go with that. All right, so let's do this thing. Start. My friend needs me to open my island on Animal Crossings real quick to buy some stuff. Alright. So, how did you all do? I finished plotting the story and I started reading back over the couple hundred words I already had written so that next stream I should be able to just hop right in there. Let's see. No one want to report how they did? Are y'all writing? Y'all over there playing Animal Crossing? All right. No one wants to tell me how they did. That's okay. There we go. Maybe my side was just running a little slow. So Jasmine did a lot of rereading and tweaking. Words is constantly killing it. 468 words. That is amazing. Okay, 150 words is really good too, since you were also like rereading and tweaking things. So you're probably like editing something and adding those words in is great. So I got like a great idea for what this story is going to be. So I'm kind of excited to be working on it now. I've been a little meh about working on this story, but kind of life of a self-publishing author, you got to get stories out there if you want to continue having income. And no one has bought my traditionally published books. No one's even wanted to be my agent yet here, but I'm still working. Got to get things done. So actually, you guys tell me what you're working on. I'd love to hear about that. Like I said, I'm working on a romance short story. It is about a football player, soccer player, who ends up liking this woman. She's a little iffy about it because, paparazzi and dealing with all things famous. Not everybody wants that. But he like tries to go after her. They have some mishaps, like the paparazzi following them and everything. So he like really goes out of his way to try and make her comfortable and like woo her. And she ends up falling for him anyway. It'll be a short story, only like at most 10,000 words. I'm also working on revisions for this middle grade novel. That's not what I'm doing tonight, but I need to work on that. I'm trying to have that finished by DV Pit so that I can enter DV Pit again. I did last like October with this book. I got some good feedback from some agents. I still have my foot out with a couple people, but some of the revisions I got from an agent and my friend Kwame were like, you need to kind of edit the beginning of it. So that's what I've been working on in revisions to make the story more punchy. And so Jasmine is working on a fantasy novella, part ghost story, part family drama. Oh, that sounds so good. Like, I love the mixture of ghost stories and family drama. Have you read Karen's book. What, just south something? Why can I remember the name of the book? Just South of Home. Just South of Home. It's a middle grade novel set in South Georgia. And like there's a ghost haunting them because one of the cousins took something from a unmarked grave. So now they are trying to put the spirit at rest and like just save the family and save the town. It's a really good book. I love middle grade novels. They're so full of heart. So Words is so my project is a trilogy about everything wonderful and terrible about the J-pop idol industry. I love that. I'm not much into J-pop, but I am the faculty sponsor for my school's K-pop dance group. So that I'm around a lot of J-pop. Even though it's not usually my favorite music. I like it well enough, but it's not what I go out looking for. But I really like that idea of following some K-pop, J-pop girls, because I do know that industry is like really tough. You have to like live in dorm rooms together and train like almost 24/7. It's a really tough life. So that should be interesting to read. Well, Words, keep us updated on how that's going. Like, I really love the sound of that. Okay, cooking dinner and getting the kiddo up is very important things. Like, dinner is one of the best meals of the day. I was telling Words earlier when I first came on that I am a complete space cadet and didn't realize until like 6:50 that I hadn't had dinner and I was going to be going on live in like 10 minutes. So I needed to hurry up and eat something. So I kind of have like my plate over here that I've been trying to sneakily like steal bites from as I work. Brain fuel. That's what it is. Okay, so the J-pop industry is much less difficult than the K-pop industry, but still tough. Okay. I've only ever read one book set in the industry before. I have a second book I want to read, but I read this one. It was a romance novel, and it was about this girl who's the manager for a K-pop group and trying to get them to have a good debut and stuff. The other one I have, let me see. It should be on my TBR shelf. Yeah. I think this one is about a K-pop star. Yeah, this one's about a K-pop star too. Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. And like, Maureen Gu is an amazing writer. If you've never read her before, like, I'm trying to make sure. Her books are so good. All of her books are titled after like lyrics from songs, hence the Somewhere Only We Know. Like, if you have not read her before, you should. I haven't read this one yet, but it is on my TBR shelf. I'm getting to it. I've been getting through a lot of physical books during this quarantine, so I should be reading it pretty soon. I just sit that there. All right, so how's everyone doing? Like, are y'all feeling good about your words? I'm kind of nervous that I'm about to start writing. I hate starting new things. It always just like, oh my goodness, is it going to be good enough? Like, are the words going to flow? But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Well, speaking of dinner, Might need to make some food. Thanks for the stream. All right, I'll see you words. Enjoy your dinner. And I hope, well, hopefully I'll be streaming again soon. So you can join us then. Have a good night. Well, I figure we could go for another 20. Oh, Maria, hey, how are you? Yeah, the starting a new project, the first words are like the worst. Like, because once you start getting into it, you start to get a feel of the characters, and it becomes a little easier to write. Even though that's a constant like frustration I have with these short stories. That like I feel like as soon as I'm really getting a feel of the characters, I am done with the story because they're at most 10,000 words. So like as soon as I'm really getting into them, it's done. Which is why I have like my side projects of novels. Like I don't think I told you all about the third project that I'm working on because I can't just be a full-time student, be a full-time teacher, and work on only one book. I got to work on 3 books. So some of you, I've been talking about how I write romance and middle grade. So the romance novel I'm working on right now is actually a reverse harem novel. If anyone like knows anime, you may know this trope. Hold on, getting a little dark. Is that better? Yeah, a little light. I tried. So reverse harem is when there's like one girl, multiple guys. Like exactly the reverse of a harem, one guy, multiple women. So that's the book I'm working on right now. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a like somewhat retelling, somewhat just like me taking Greek mythology and having fun with it, of Persephone, um, Aphrodite, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon in a relationship. In this version of Greek mythology, they're not brothers, so we don't have that factor in it. But I'm having fun writing that. I plan on doing a video explaining reverse harem one day when I have time to sit and record. But I don't know, we're not spring right now, but we're about to start. But yeah, that's the third project that I'm working on. Sorry, y'all, I'm so ADD. I have my mind is like in 20 different places. I'm sorry, I keep rambling. Y'all want to sprint again? I know some of y'all weren't in here when I made the first explanation about the timer. It does howl when it's done because I first found the timer when I was writing a lot of Teen Wolf fan fiction. I loved that it howled. So it went well with my Teen Wolf fan fiction. It is fun to write because you see so many love triangles, but like why have a love triangle when you can polyamorous, right? Okay, so I really don't so much like the reverse harms with a whole bunch of people. Like I think 4 guys is my limit, or 4 guys and a girl, like all together 4 like people to be with the girl. Like I've seen books with like 7, 9, 12 people, and I'm like, why? That's way too many. And originally, this book was supposed to be just her, Persephone being the main person. It was supposed to be just her with Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. And Aphrodite was just going to be like her friend. But then somehow she started being attracted to Aphrodite. And I was like, okay, we'll just roll with this. And that became the fourth person in the relationship. So, oops, accidental bisexual, which is like basically my brand. I don't know. All right, so let's go for another 20 minutes. This time I get to actually get some writing in. We will see how well I do. All right, everyone ready? Let's do this. everything. How did you all do? Hopefully, you did better than I did. I got a grand total of, let's see, 219 words. I kind of got stuck at the end because I was like, all right, this feels like the end of the scene for him, for my hero. But I was like, it's too short to be just a chapter by itself. So I need something else to put in there. So I think I just figured out what else I'm gonna like have going on. I'll introduce the heroine earlier than I was planning. So hopefully that will work out, even though I still need like a good 1,000 words to hit where I want this chapter to be. So yeah, how did all of you guys do? Actually, let me try and turn on some more lights. I never realized how dark this room is until now. Did that helping? No, it does not look like that helped at all. Maybe. Oh yeah, okay, that way helped a little. All right, so Jasmine got another 100-ish words. You are kicking that editing butt. Like, I personally hate editing, which my other friend Malaysia popped in here, I think, and she will tell you I have been working on the revisions for my middle grade novel for so long because I hate revising so much that I keep putting it off. And I was supposed to have my revisions done by the end of March. Now my timeline is before DV Pit. So last night, if you're in the US, you heard that like a lot of the South and the East Coast had tornadoes and bad storms last night. So they were kind of near where I live, maybe like 20 miles away, which for a tornado, that is not far. So I was up a good portion of the night. I don't think I went to sleep until like 6 a.m. But I kind of used that time wisely. I used some of the time to revise. So that was good. And I got through the first chapter. I'm not revising the whole book. I'll say that. I needed to change like the first few chapters, and I merged an old version of the book with the new version. So I'm trying to like clean up the seams of that so it flows well. So I finished up the first chapter of sewing everything together. And one of my other friends had left a note at the end of that first chapter saying that there's not enough tension and mystery to like pull the reader into the second chapter. So like when I was going to bed, I bet most of you can really relate to this, but like going to sleep, I get the best ideas. Sleeping and showering, that's when the best ideas come. So I was finally going to sleep, and like it hit me like what I can do to try and add a little mystery to it. So I'm gonna have like her aunt be all cryptic and say something about how she should consider pulling back from her best friend, because in like chapter 2 she's gonna find out she's a witch, and witches aren't supposed to like let mortals know about them. So her best friend is immortal. So once she found out she's a witch, she should kind of like make other witch friends and be more around other witches. So her aunt is very pro separation of witches and mortals. And it's kind of being cryptic about, well, you may want to think about pulling away from April and like making new friends. Friendships don't always last forever. And my main character, Maya's gonna be like, what are you talking about? Whatever. Go upstairs to her sleepover with her friend. But she's gonna have like this sinking feeling in her stomach that something is going on and something is bad is about to happen. So that's the kind of like mystery I'm adding to the first chapter. Hopefully when I actually write it, it will work. But we'll see. Um so like the storm was really bad and like you could hear like the things hitting against the windows and everything, but it mostly just felt like a thunderstorm more than a tornado. So it, other than the mental fact that I knew what was happening around me, it didn't really hit me too much. And it probably helped that I was really into binge watching season 2 of Billions. Like I had to like give myself a break today. I'm addicted to that show. Every time I try and watch it, I binge a bunch of episodes and then I have to, okay, back off a little bit, give your brain a break because that show is so much drama. Like I told myself I was finally gonna go to bed because I was on like the last episode of season 2. So I was like, okay, it's the last episode. I can go to bed after this. And then season 3 started, and then I watched all of the first episode before I finally put myself to sleep. So the fact that it was like mostly sounding like a thunderstorm and that I was watching TV really helped. I had my laptop plugged in and my phone plugged in just in case I had to like duck for the bathroom to like take shelter and I would need entertainment, which is terrible. That I was planning on, okay, I could just bring my phone and laptop with me and like continue getting work done if I have to take shelter. Whatever, no big deal. Which I'm actually not used to tornadoes. We don't really get a lot of them in Atlanta. Like I remember the last big tornado happened when I was still in undergrad. I was like 18 years old. I'm 30 now. That's the last time that I really remember a tornado coming around here. So yeah, I don't think I'm that metal. So anyone else get some writing in? I don't know who else is in here anymore. Maria, did you get any writing in? I know Words had to go get dinner. I don't know if Meadow came back from waking her kids up from their nap. Well, if not, we can always go again. Jasmine, are you up for writing again? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the timer. I would like to, at the very least, get another and finish this chapter, which my goal is about 1,700 words a chapter. This chapter is at 664 right now. So that means I need like another 1,000 words. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try and write more. I don't know how much longer I'll stream though. Like, oh, Jasmine is heading to dinner. Oh, well, enjoy your meal. Like I was saying earlier, dinner is an important meal of the day. It's usually like the main meal I eat. I'm not a breakfast person. But yeah, go enjoy your dinner. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I am going to stream. I didn't really think about that when I started. So I guess until everyone leaves me. All right, I guess we can go for another 20. I wish there was a way to see like who's in chat. All right, let's do this. And starting. Okay. Well, that was an interesting sprint for me. I just realized that I have spelled the hero's name three different ways in just this short little bit. And I'm like, how did I manage that? Let's see, what did I do? Well, that sprint I got 282 words. I am actually kind of happy about that, especially since I realized I spelled the hero's name wrong. I had to spend the last couple minutes of the sprint figuring out, well, one, he, okay, so the main guy of the story was a side character in a different book. So I knew in that book I gave him a last name. So that's how I realized that I was spelling his name wrong because I went to the document that has the other story in it. And I was trying to search it and it was like, that word is not in this story. What are you talking about? I was like, crap. So I had to like try and like visually find his name, realize I was calling him Darrell when his original name was Darnell. So I had to fix that. And then I realized I spelled Durrell a few different ways. So that it was all just a hot mess. So I'm actually glad that I managed to get 282 words despite all of that. Right. Hey Ella, welcome. Oh, virtual flute lessons. That's actually kind of cool. Like, so do you do like kind of a video chat to speak to the students? And actually, I don't know how much longer we are streaming because I know a couple people are watching, but they're not chatting. Alasia, I'm looking at you. So without conversation to get things moving, I don't know how long I can talk to myself. Alasia. You spent the whole sprint typing your new IG post. Do I follow? We're gonna have to chat later because I don't know if I follow you on IG. So like, I'm gonna have to make sure I rectify that. We've known each other too long for me to not follow you on IG. Well, if you were working on that, then I bet it was a good Instagram post. So good work. So Ella, do you want to tell us what you're working on today? I am working on. I've said this a couple times. I'm working on a romance short story. Um, it'll only be about 10,000 words. I'm about 1,000 in right now. So it's been fun so far. I'm enjoying it. I I've been kind of stuck with my writing with shorts lately, so it feels good that these words are coming out like relatively easily right now. Because the first couple months this year, I've been so struggling with writing, and like I said, these shorts are like not even 10,000 words. Usually, they end up, except my last one. I usually aim for about 8,000 words each one. The last one I did was about 10,000 words. And I'm wondering if it was partly because that was the first one I actually dictated part of. And will dictating free up my mind enough to get more words in? So this is kind of an experiment with that. But I was kind of burnt out on shorts a little because, as we was discussing earlier, shorts as soon as you really start to get to know the character, it's done. The story's over. But it's hard to really get into the flow of things with shorts because of that. So I was only getting like one short a month written. April is going to be the same. I'm probably only going to get this one short done, but that's partly because I meant to start this story earlier in the month, and I've been so focused on like my novel writing, so I didn't. But I think if I'm not feeling so burnt out with this short yet. I'm only like 1,000 words in, so there's 9,000 more words for me to try and feel burnt out on. But if it, I'm hoping it'll keep having this nice flow, and I don't get burnt out, and maybe in May I can get 2 shorts written. Because by May I'm supposed to be done with this novel because I have an editor lined up for May 7th. But that means I need to have that book finished before then. So I think there's so much always going on. Alasia, my silent ghost in here, who refuses to talk to me, always teases me that I have like 50 things going on. 'Cause I tend to. I don't know how to concentrate on one thing at a time. I'm bad at that. So Ella, yeah, what are you working on since I've been just rambling? I think oh my, it's already after 9 o'clock on the East Coast where I am. So I'm thinking I may do like one more sprint before I call it a night. Well, I'm probably gonna still be writing, but I'll call it a night on stream. But I really enjoyed this. I miss streaming. Like I miss my YouTube channel. I've been too busy all school year to do it, so now this is my chance to do more. So if y'all want to see videos, like let me know what kind of content you want to see. I have a little sticky note of like ideas I already have, but I'm always looking for more. And I would love to know what people want to see. And I am like 90% certain I will stream again, maybe even this week again. Like I'm enjoying this. I'm getting a lot of words done that I would not have gotten without you. So thank you all for being here. I know some people already had to leave, some people had to leave, but seriously, thank you all for coming and helping me write because this would not have happened without you all. I'm terrible. I get so easily distracted. I would have watched Degrassi. I've been binge watching Degrassi on YouTube because I learned that Degrassi The Next Generation is all up on YouTube for free legally. So I've been binge watching that, reliving my childhood, seeing Drake back when he was just Aubrey Graham. Nina Dobrev, Elena from Vampire Diaries was on that show, but she's only in the later season. I'm still on season 1, so she's not on the show yet. But yeah, Degrassi brings back so many memories. It makes me feel so old that like those characters were my age. So I'm enjoying that. So yeah, let's go one more sprint. I'm like, bring up the sprint clock. Here we go. Go for another 20 if that's all right with everybody. All right, let's do this. I was totally rocking this program organizational thing, period. They were reluctant to yet let a young Black woman straight out of college run the program, comma, but no one else was stepping up, period. Guess I proved them all wrong, period. Correct story. Choose one. New line. I quickly emailed back Ayana. Correct Ayana. Spell that. Choose one. With the contracts and final information, period. With that done, comma, I was flying too high to concentrate on my grading, period. Correct my grading. Spell that. Choose one. My kids will probably be happy not to get their spelling tests back tomorrow, period. It gave them one more weekend of reprieve before their parents found out their grades. Correct 3. New line. I packed up my personal belongings and headed to my 10-year-old Toyota that I inherited from my parents when they traded in for a newer car. Delete that. Decided to get a newer car. Period. Now that I was leaving work, comma, I was a little reluctant to go home. Period. The only thing that was there to greet me was a pint of Cherry Garcia. Correct, Cherry. Choose one. Period. If that was going to be the only open quote person, close quote, in my life, comma, I was gonna soon be thicker than I already am. Period. Oh my goodness, did I leave unmuted this whole time? That is funny. I hope y'all enjoyed hearing me dictating. It's very halting. Oh, that's kind of embarrassing now. I hate people hearing me dictate. At least it wasn't a steamy scene. I think I would have been even more embarrassed with that. Copy. Okay. Why do you not want to paste? Thank you. So I spent most of that sprint like discussing plotting and crafting like plot issue with some friends online. So I didn't actually write too much. I wrote 164 words, but that's 164 more words than I had 20 minutes ago. So, oh goodness, I need to write like one more word because I just looked at my total for the sprint and I am not leaving it on 666. Yeah, that makes me feel better. So for the night, I got 701 words. I'm going to probably continue writing for the night, but I think I'm done here. It's been almost 3 hours. Oh my goodness. But thank you all for joining me. I promise I'm probably going to stream again later this week. I got to decide what day. There's no calendar on any computer I'm on right now. Maybe like Wednesday or something. I don't trying to think of what I have to do this week. I do have like active teaching on Tuesday and Thursday. So that may be a little harder for me to sprint then. But other than that, yeah, I'm definitely probably gonna definitely probably yeah oxymoron. I'm definitely probably going to be sprinting again this week. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Oh, hit the wrong button. Now it's over.